Since our singing voices didn't make it to Nashville,
We figured we would use our voices in a completely different way.
we're two friends hanging out, sharing about our businesses
Our journeys to motherhood, things we love, and making time to do life.
together. This is
Two chicks and a glass. Hey everyone.
Hey
Hey.
y'all.
Happy New Year. This is our Happy New Year episode. It's going to come out a couple of days before the new year, but this is our Happy New Year to you episode. And before we jump into all of the things that we have to talk about for the new year, let's begin with what's in our glass. Angie?
Yes, so I'm Angie. Hey y'all. And I'm the one half of Two Chicks and a Glass. And today I have something that completely out of the ordinary that you are going to see on this podcast. If you're checking us out on YouTube, today I have a glass. It's got a little bit of bubbly in it, and it's actually beer. So today in my glass, I have Michelob Ultra. This is a fun fact that I used to be a bud girl, or I used to be a promotional person for Anheuser-Busch. So a long time ago, I was a bud girl. So that's what this just reminded me of. But with it being our New Year's episode, I didn't have any champagne, so I had to kick it in with my beer because it's clear. So that's what I have in my glass. And what I have on my lips to go with it today, it's called Cocoa Teeny. It's a nice little brown color. It pulls a lot of browns into it. It's perfect for New Year's. It makes me think of like fresh and woodsy and fall and new beginnings. So I've got Cocoa Teeny on my lips, which is a matte enduring lip color. It's actually going to stay on your lips for 4 to 6 hours. Great for all of your toasting for New Year's Eve. So LaShonda.
Yes, because I didn't even introduce
Yeah.
myself. I'm Lashonda, and I'm the second half of Two Chicks in a Glass. And in my glass, I actually have a sparkling white wine. And it is, so it's actually, and you can't see it, the white labels are always the worst. But it is a Barron's Creek Vineyard sparkling white wine, and it's actually out of Fredericksburg, Texas. But fun fact also that even though this is a Barron's Creek Vineyards wine out of Fredericksburg, Texas, it is actually a product of Spain. So it's bottled in Spain for Barron's Creek, and then it's sent to Fredericksburg, Texas, for production, basically. So this is a really good. It's called Cava. So it's the Barron's Creek Cava Sparkling White, and it is so good to me. It is it's sparkling, but it's not very brute. To me, it's a smoother champagne. And I do like brute champagnes when I'm having like mimosas and things like that. But when I'm drinking like just a regular glass of champagne, I do like for it to be very bubbly, very sparkling. But I like for it to be a little bit smoother, a little bit easier on my digestive system, I guess is what I'm saying. And this is the perfect wine for that, the perfect sparkling wine for that. So, this is our New Year's episode, and we are having sparklings today, beer and wine.
Cheers. And I just realized in you saying that I'm not really a champagne drinker, like at all. I mean, I will drink it with mimosas, but like on a regular, like if I'm gonna have a glass of champagne, I never have a glass of champagne. That's like the rarest thing for me. So thanks for sharing um, what champagne to grab.
So this is a really good one. There are a couple that you can get in the store that I like also, for my
Hmm.
mimosas and things like that. But I also try to buy local from local vineyards. So whenever I go to Fredericksburg, we always spend way too much money. But This is a really, really good one that's in Texas. So when you do come to visit and we get to go to
Mhm.
Fredericksburg, I can take you to all of these amazing wineries.
I can't wait. Oh my gosh. I'm so like, that is a perfect segue into 2021 because I'm telling you, I'm hoping, fingers crossed, that, we will have more travels in 2021. I'm going to go ahead and claim that for us. Throw up some hands, people. If we need some travel and some outside in 2021, because 2020, woo, Lord.
I miss so much. I miss flight attendants.
Yeah.
Them
You're
say,
going to pay attention next time.
please prepare for takeoff. Like I miss hearing those words.
Yeah. And then that little beep, ding, ding.
Yes.
Oh, man. I just thought, yeah,
I miss it.
it's crazy. I mean, I'm not as traveled as you, so I probably didn't hear as many flight, the wheels up and the wheels down. But I can say the year before 2020, Nick and I, we did travel a lot more. And I think maybe the good Lord was prepping us for 2020 because we ain't go nowhere. But I'm looking forward to that. So I guess we'll start off with 2021 coming up. We know everybody always talks about New Year's resolution.
Yes.
What I'm gonna be a new me. What is it? New year, new me, new attitude, new this, new that. So are you a New Year's resolution person or no?
That's a good question because I don't necessarily say I'm like a New Year's resolution person. But I do set my goals for the new year. So I do have things that I want to accomplish in the upcoming year. A lot of people believe that, oh, you set a resolution, it doesn't last long, those things. So I like to define it as setting goals for myself. Like, what do I want to achieve in 2021? Like, I don't say, let me set a New Year's resolution for 2021.
Yeah.
I want to set these goals, and I have until the end of the year to accomplish these goals. So, whatever order they come in, however I go about making it happen, that all comes together throughout the year. But I do believe in setting goals for myself for the year. Like, what do I want for myself? And it doesn't always have to be the typical, oh my gosh, I want to lose weight, or oh my gosh, I want to work out more. Like, there are so many other goals out there that we can set for ourselves within a year. And so those are the ones that I like to set for myself. I like to set myself up for success. So yes, to answer your question, I do feel like I believe in setting New Year goals. What about you?
I agree with a lot of that. And I am the same way, but this year, see, I was typically like, last year for 2020, I was like, I see my business doing this. I want to be there, like there. And I'm not a lot of places that I wanted to be right now because of the pandemic and things that I couldn't, control. And so it's making me pivot. And this year I am actually, I guess to answer, yeah, I'm a New Year's resolution person, but this year I'm looking at it completely different because I'm looking at processes that I can put in place. So instead of me setting like, this is the goal that I want to accomplish and a hard, I'm going to, for example, lose baby weight. Um, Instead, my New Year's resolution is I am going to work out 3 days a week, every week. So more of processes instead of end result goals, because I feel like this year if I were to go back on my New Year's resolutions or my business or even personal goals that I had, I failed every single one miserably. um
I think
yeah.
that's great though, because the mental health professional in me is saying you're setting smart goals for yourself. Like,
Uh-huh.
you're making them time sensitive. You are being very clear in what you want to do, how you want to do it, and the time frame that you would like to do it. So Yes, how many times do I want to do it? Do you know what I mean? So that's the key to setting goals for yourself, is that they have to be measurable. And I think sometimes we go into the new year saying, I want to do all of these things, but we don't create a plan or a process for it. We don't create a smart goal for ourselves. We just create this
Exactly.
thing that we want to do. But how do we make it a smart goal? How do we make it measurable? How do we make it attainable? Like, how do we make it time sensitive? How do we make it um, accessible to us, so that we don't feel like we can't, that we're not reaching it. We know that we're taking the steps to get there.
Exactly. Yeah, like that's it. That is why people fail on goals and New Year's resolutions. That's why they fail.
Yeah.
Because there's no process, just the goal. So yeah, I'm totally there with that. Okay, so what about traditions? What do
Okay.
you normally do?
I love New Year's. Like Emmanuel and I love New Year's Eve. So we don't typically take a lot of time off for Thanksgiving and Christmas. And it may sound really bad, but we don't. We don't normally
Oh,
take a lot of time off on those days. Like, we tell our coworkers, like, you can have those days, that you want off, as long as you cover for me in the new year. So
yeah.
we typically, our tradition has been to honestly do like a huge new year party. Like,
Hmm.
on New Year's Eve, we do like a huge party somewhere. Um this past year, before the pandemic, of course, before we got all of that crazy news, like, we did a huge party here in San Antonio. It was like VIP experience. It was like 1920s flapper. Like, we did all of that. Year before that, we did a huge party at the Bar Louie here. I feel like one year we came to y'all's house and it was a huge party. So we love bringing in the new year happy and having a good time and just being with friends or making new friends. And so that's typically one of our traditions, is just being able to go out and have a good time on New Year's Eve. And then one of the things that I also like to do is a vision board party. Like, I've hosted a vision board party a couple of years in a row. And so I'm always excited about that. So that's another tradition. So Emmanuel and I bringing it in together, and then doing a vision board party, which again ties into the goals that we just talked about. Like, what are these things that I want to accomplish? Let me put them on paper, so to speak, so that I can see it and look at it throughout the year. So that's typically our tradition. What's you and Nick's tradition? Do you guys have a tradition?
We do. So a lot of years before we bought our house, we would go out. Like we would be the people out partying. And actually, I take that back because we've done that where we left and went out to party, while we lived in our house too. We always party. Like there's a major party going on, whether it's happening at our house, like we love to have a party here, because you can see fireworks from the front of our house and in the back of our house. So we love to have like friends over, have drinks, have a party. Everybody can stay at our house and just bring in the new year. We dress up at our house, get all cute and fancy and go nowhere. And toast our champagne. So I feel like, that's one of the things that we do. We have had years where, we got dressed up and we left and we went to a bar, but it seems like whenever we do that, we don't have as much fun because we're like, we got to be responsible. You got to figure out, are you Ubering? Are you not Ubering? Like all of these things that you have to worry about. But we love to party it up. So New Year's Eve is a party for us.
Yes,
Um,
too.
and another thing that we do, like on New Year's Day, I always cook black eyed peas, cabbage, cornbread. Got to have some ham or turkey. It's a little bit of pork in there. There we go, some pork. So we have that tradition for the next day, and I don't care if I am not feeling like, if I feel horrible, I'm gonna cook that dinner no
I
matter what.
girl, I grew up on that tradition, but I have
Yes.
not brought that forward with me. But after this year, I'm making some black eyed peas and cabbage and
Yes, girl.
cornbread. Like I'm getting all the blessings and luck and everything that I can get because
Yes, I don't even like black eyed peas. I'm not a fan. But every single New Year's Day, oh, I'm eating black eyed
you're
peas.
eating black
I've
eyed
done
peas,
it
girl.
every single year. Absolutely. So that's, we do that every year. Like, it's going down in the kitchen. Um,
That's
but,
a
and we
new
don't,
tradition for me. New tradition,
yeah,
bringing that forward.
we don't wash clothes on New Year's Day either. That's a big tradition to where, if there's something that needs to be washed, it needs to be washed on New Year's Eve. You don't wash on New Year's Day because you're washing all of your good luck and all of your good things away. So you don't wash clothes on New Year's Day. But we, like, I do the meal and I don't wash clothes. So that's, I think, the hugest tradition we have.
Okay. Well, I'm glad you told me that because I know that these were traditions that like were talked about in my house and that I was like brought up on, but I didn't bring them with me. And I think
Take
this
them,
year,
girl.
I'm like gathering all of it up and I'm like bringing it. I'm taking it with me.
Hold it, hold it. Yeah. I think
Because
I might do a little extra.
yes, girl, do a little bit of extra, like do a bag and a half of black eyed peas. Like
Mhm.
I'm definitely gonna bring that with me. I've always wanted to. It's not that I didn't want to. Honestly, it's probably because, I didn't feel like it on that day.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
But now I feel like that is a tradition that I should bring forward. Just one because it is something that has been a part of our history, part of our tradition growing up also. But it also comes with all of these good things that you want to, whether it's true or real or not, like you want to
Yeah.
mentally and physically believe that you're bringing these good things into the year, into the new year with you. And so I definitely want
Absolutely.
to bring that.
Yes, I'm with you. Okay, what we got next? So what are you looking forward to for 2021?
Oh my goodness. So for 2021, first of all, I'm looking forward to this vaccine being successful and COVID-19 being like out of here. That is like that is 100% what I'm looking for. But two, I'm looking forward to a brighter and better year. Do you know what I mean? Like
Mhm.
there's been a whole lot this year with the pandemic and not to go into all of like a lot of detail, just like the politics of everything on
Yeah.
top of like race issues and so pandemic, race issues, politics, like I'm looking forward to like stepping outside of that box and going into a brighter and better future, a year of more love and understanding and giving people more grace. So
Mhm.
that's my hope for the year with everyone. And then just for myself, just to be a better version of myself. Like every year I go into the year wanting to be a better Lashonda, a better version of myself. Whether that is I would love to like do more yoga and meditate more. Those are things that I've brought into this year with me with getting my instructor's certificate, things like that. So I want to bring that into this year because it has helped me grow. And so I want to continue to bring that into this year with me so that I'm able to see things clearer. I'm able to give not only myself grace, but give other people grace to be who they are and experience what they need to experience. Um, I'm looking forward to 2021 just being much better and much brighter than 2020 for sure.
I feel you. I feel all of that. I feel like, and I guess to piggyback off of that, 2020 was heavy.
Oh my God.
Like, if I could sum it up in one word, like
Heavy.
heavy.
Yes.
And I was heavy.
I have
I
gotten
was
heavy. So
girl. I don't know. I think a lot of people listening probably got
I've gotten
heavy.
heavy.
So that's the word that I'm going to just summarize 2020 as. It was heavy. It was a heavy one. It was one that I grew, I would say, the most in, because now I'm a mom. Like, and that's just a different. I'm not gonna say the most, because the year before 2020. No, I'm going with 2020. That was a year of growth for me. So 2020 was a year of growth. It was growth. It was heavy. I became a mom. I became a different entrepreneur. I my vision and the experiences that I had from the previous year shaped me into a more um I guess independent and confident person in 2020. So I feel that I was more confident, vulnerable, and myself,
Yeah.
in 2020, because I used to worry so much about what everybody felt of me, thought of me, was thinking or talking about me. And this past year was, I can say, the most freeing year, because I didn't worry about that. I had other things to
Yeah.
worry about. So
Yeah.
that's what it was for me. And going into 2021, I hope to take this newfound growth and be able to take that into the world, and hope to empower other women to feel that growth and reach that growth within inside of themselves.
Yeah.
And I feel like if that's the way I could put it out there and it rolls off the tongue, I feel that that's what I look forward to the most, is helping other women find their confidence. Yeah.
Yeah.
Um,
And I feel like in that you told us what 2020 taught you also. Like
yeah.
it taught you to just kind of trust yourself and not worry about what other people think. Do you know what I mean? Like I heard
Yes.
that from what you just said.
Absolutely. That's it. And you're
Yeah.
so accurate, because that is what it taught me. It taught me to that I got to worry there's a little girl, and I remember that little, it's so funny. It was on social media, and she goes, "Worry about your own self," and that's what it teaches. It's like, I worry about my own self,
Speak
but at
to
the
your
same
soul.
yeah, she speaks to my soul. She's like my my spirit animal. But where I worry more about my own self, and I know that other people are more worried about themselves too. And that's that's what I felt, and that's what I want to take, and that's what it's taught me, is to worry about my own self. The and I realized that the things that worry me the most maybe worry someone else as well.
Yeah.
So we're yeah, we're all more connected than we even realize, I feel.
Way more than we even think. And I think that
Yeah.
um to you and I had this discussion a little bit earlier is that 2020 also taught us how to like pivot. How,
Yes.
all of these things that we think are going to work a certain way, it didn't work that way in 2020. And we had to figure out how to pivot from what we thought was going to work to what is now going to work. I think we all like got pivoting down. We had to
Mhm.
pivot our work lives. We had to pivot our personal lives. Like we had to pivot for those people who have children, like your children's lives. Like they went from people who have kids who are school age went from sending your kid to school to now trying to figure out how to be a homeschooler. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
this was a year of teaching us to pivot, but I like to say that it's also a year that taught us that we can get through anything. Like
Yes.
we are survivors. We are
Yeah.
survivors, y'all. Like we pivoted so much and we survived so much this year. People have lost loved ones. people have lost their jobs, people have, not figured out the homeschooling thing, but their kid is still thriving and surviving. Like, we
Mhm.
have somehow figured it out, and like, we are rock stars. Like, we are rock stars at this, even if you don't feel like it, even if you
Mhm.
feel like you have sucked this entire year. Let me tell you this, you are making it to the end of the year. You have been successful. Like, you are a rock star.
Yes.
Do you know what I mean? Like, we have learned, we are survivors. That's what I have to say.
I'm your amen sister because amen sister. If you made it through 2020, you deserve a stamp.
Yes.
Everybody gets that stamp.
And
I
you
survived
deserve to have a
2020.
glass of champagne too. Like, toast to your own damn self. Like, you deserve
Cheers.
it. Yes. Cheers.
Mhm. I'm telling you. Okay, so
So we survived this year, and as I just said, like, this has been a hard year, but we survived. We are rock stars. We pushed through. So what is your best memory of this year? Like, we like to stay positive and focus on the positive. So let's talk about what made us happy this year. Like, what is the best memory from 2020? Because there were some good ones. Even though 2020 was a hell of a year, I'm a firm believer that there's always something to be grateful for. There always needs to be gratitude in your attitude. So, what are you grateful for this year? What is your best memory?
well, we there. If you know me at all, she has 10 little fingers, 10 little toes. And I've got to say, having my daughter was the best memory of the decade. It made all of the chaos of 2020 more manageable. It made it seem like in the midst of a storm, there was still a bright light ahead. That, in the midst of chaos and confusion, there was peace. So she was my peace. She was and is my sense of comfort, my answer to prayers, and all of that. And she came in her own time, and I feel that that was my best memory for this year, is to honestly, it's the day I found out I was pregnant, and I cried, and I was like, oh my gosh. And then because her actual birth is a little scary, but just having her, holding her in my arms, and knowing that she's here gives me so much love. And like, I would redo 2020 and all of its mess again if I knew that she was going to come out of it. So, what about for you?
Oh my God. How do I follow those 10 little fingers and 10 little
I
toes?
know. I don't even think we can, but you can.
2020 for me, if you follow me at all on social media, you know that I am the gratitude queen. So
You are.
I've spent so much of this year not trying to focus on all of the bad things going on around us, all of the loss and hurt and pain. I acknowledge that it's there. You know what I mean? But I try so
Mhm.
much to not focus on that. And so there are a couple of things that I am so grateful for this year, and that fall into my best memory. So one would be the the um, the class that I took through Yale University. So I took an online class through Yale University, Science of Wellbeing, and that class was the first thing that I did post post pandemic, or during the pandemic, I guess I should say. Um, and it just kind of got me into this thought process of what really makes us happy. Do you know what I mean? Like, so it took me down this road of focusing on, for such a crazy year, what is going to make me happy? What do I need to do? What do I not need to do? What things do I think make me happy that don't really make me happy, like money. Like we all think money makes us happy, but money doesn't make us happy. Every time we get more money and we work in that job, we think we need more money. So
Mhm.
yeah, we say, oh, if I get that job, I'm going to be so freaking happy. But it's not the case. Like you're going to want more and more and more and more. It's just the way life is. It's just the way it works. But nonetheless, so that I think that's one of my best memories because I feel like it catapulted me into
Mhm.
this self growth area of really figuring out my happiness. I released two books this year, a journal and an actual book. Those are some of the best memories. It's such a huge accomplishment to be able to write a book, release the book, to create a journal and release the journal. Huge moments for me, huge moments of 2020. Um, Being able to spend more time with my husband. I think I've mentioned it on a couple of episodes that last year he had two jobs, and I was like, dude, what are you doing? I miss you. This is crazy. This is not our life. I'm not
Mhm.
used to this, you not being here. And then 2020 rolled around and I was like, okay, so you want your husband here? Boom, here he is.
Yeah, all day, every
All
day.
day, every day. Here's your husband. So I'm grateful for that time. There's so much. I just, there's so much. And the final thing that I do want to mention is that, we got a puppy. Like she is, and let me tell you, she's a puppy. So potty training is crazy right now. Chewing on everything is crazy right now. But I am so grateful for her, because she fills a place in my heart. She fills a place in Emmanuel's heart, I think. Um, we do
Mhm.
plan to go into 2020 with hopes of getting pregnant and having a baby. But I think this puppy feels a special place. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
I'm glad to have Hinesley also, as a part of our family. There's so many other things, but I'm going to stop there because I spent this whole year focusing on this one question, this one thing. Like, stay focused on gratitude. There's so much that can take you down a road or a path of sadness and depression and hurt, and you can fall into a hole that is hard to dig yourself out of. And so I paid close attention to not doing that this year. So there's a lot that I can talk about that I'm grateful for, but I'll stick with those few.
And you know what, Lashonda, like you verbalizing and vocalizing that, it makes me like understand why we're such great friends. Like we and y'all may not know this, but like we've been friends for a long time.
A long time.
And I will tell you, there's been times where she and I, like, we don't talk for months at a time. And then we would talk. And when we talk, it's like we were like going through similar experiences, like our souls are connected. I don't care who you are. That is my soul sister right there. It is because, we were in still alignment with and we always are with where our hearts are, because that is exactly where I felt was gratitude. And there was one thing whenever you were talking, it's like, following the 10 fingers and the 10 toes. I've noticed so much growth in you this year. Like, I am proud of my best friend. I am clapping. Like, there's been conversations that we've had like previous years where I'm finally seeing you step out and like you're actually doing the damn thing. And I'm like, go, friend, go. So I am so incredibly proud of you and happy for you and like just happy to be doing this with you because, 2021 may have sucked, but not for LaShonda Hollins. Or 2020. Did I say 2021? I don't know what year I'm saying, but 2020 was your year because you really owned it, my friend, like you did. Um, and I do want to add this that certain times we look for validation.
Yes.
Okay. And I want to make this clear that other people don't necessarily have to validate our actions. Okay. There are, I believe in signs. I'm very spiritual. If y'all didn't know, I do, like, I'll talk about God like any moment. I'm not going to say I know everything in the Bible, but I will say that my heart and my faith and my spirit is so strong. And certain things happen where we have that little moment of validation inside of us. And this year, one of the things that did happen for me was I got so I left my job in 2019. So 2020 was my first full year, as an entrepreneur. And I can say we're still standing, baby. And one of the things that I can say that validated my decision to leave was some of the growth that I had as my journey with Lime Life, just being recognized and having different awards and accomplishments that validated, hey, and just different conversations with people that validate I'm doing what I'm supposed to be doing. And I feel that this podcast happened in 2020, and it is to me one of the best memories that I will ever have, like starting this with you. And I think that just going back on what it taught, like what 2020 taught me, how happy I am, it's that I'm learning to listen to my heart a lot more, and go with those gut instincts and follow that. And I hope that, anybody that's listening to this, that you start to listen and trust yourself more. Just go for it, go for those things that you want to go for.
We, to piggyback on what you just said, started we had already always talked about doing something together. This
Hmm.
podcast literally came up one night. I was laying on your couch. We were all laying on your couch, you, my husband, your husband, and we came up with this idea. And we came up with all the ideas right then. And then the next day, we were like on top of planning it and doing it. So, literally, whatever it is that you want to do, go for it. Like, we are doing this podcast now because we went for it. And
Hmm.
that's really what it's all about. You know what I mean? Like, and I if you've read my book, I also talk about what Angela said as far as validation from others, and not needing that. But I also talk about just being able to trust yourself and trust your gut and make these things happen for yourself. We stepped out on this limb. We did it, and whether you fall flat on your face, this is in my book. If you fail, it's okay. Like,
Oh, yeah.
failure is part of life. If you fall flat on your face, figure out what went wrong, you assess, and you get up and you rebuild, you restructure, you replan. So don't fear failure, because it's inevitable, but it teaches
Exactly.
you something. It teaches you something.
So good. So good. All right. So I think now we're at the point to what it's taught us. Or did we just talk about that
We just
basically?
talked about it. We talked about how it taught us to pivot.
Oh
Um,
yeah.
it taught us that we are freaking rock stars.
Yeah, we are.
2020 has taught us so much. I would love for you to type in the comments if you're on YouTube what 2020 has taught you. Like, I want to
Mhm.
know what 2020 has taught you, how you've grown, or just what you've learned about yourself in areas that you may need to continue to grow and continue to work on, because that's a possibility too. 2020 teaches us a lot of things. One of those can be accountability for our actions, accountability for our words, things like that we don't realize, you know, we may need to work on. So anything that you've learned in 2020, share that with us in the comments if you're following us on YouTube. Um, but I do think that since we believe in New Year's resolutions, or we believe in New Year goals, it would only be right for us to share what we want our goals to be for 2021.
Ooh.
Here we go, y'all.
I
We
know.
put ourselves out there, and we are telling you our 2021 goals. So now you
Yeah.
can track us and see if we're doing it.
Yeah. My biggest goal, I've got personal, um, professional, both are growth, of course. Growth. Like for professionally, my hope is to grow a business where not only I'm thriving, but women are thriving with me, a more collaborative spirit, a bigger team. I want to really focus on processes, like, and that is again with my professional life, with my personal life, with everything, with my spiritual life. I want to narrow everything down to a process. So I haven't written out all of my plans. That's going to come at our vision board party. Hey, I'm going to get really clear there. But overall, definitely growth. I'm going to say sometimes I pick a word for a year, and I think mine's going to be processes, just because it's speaking to me. Because we can always think about what we want our goals to be, but this 2021 is going to be all about processes. I've got a new baby. I got to figure out how I'm going to live and fit all of this in and be a mom. So being patient with myself, I'm going to say my biggest New Year's resolution is to work more on the process, less on the end result.
Yes. Oh yeah. Oh yes. The steps, as we said earlier when we first started the podcast, is that the steps on how to get there isn't
Hmm.
really discussed in your resolution. So I think if you focus on your processes, like you're setting yourself up for success, friend.
Yeah.
You're setting
Tell
yourself
me
up
what you got.
for success. So I mean, I took notes. So, from what you were saying, I have professional and personal goals for myself as well. As I said, I like to set goals for myself for the year. So, my goal for 2020 personally is to do more yoga. I've said this before, yoga it changed my life. It changed my life before, so I know the impact that it has on my life. So my goal is to do yoga at least twice a week. Go into the new year doing something that's going to make me a healthier and happier person. I
Mhm.
actually started meditation this year. 2020 had me like trying all of these things, and I actually love meditation. I had some great experiences with meditation. I'll have to tell you about I don't know if I shared it. I shared it in one of my groups on Facebook, a meditation experience that I had where my mother's presence was there. So meditation has just brought me so many things that I never thought I could experience again. A sense of peace, a sense of quietness. It is my health space. It is my
Yeah.
space, and so I would love to bring yoga and meditation back into my daily life, more than what I'm doing now. And just being a better leader, uh, personally, just being a better leader. Professionally, I would love to impact more women,
Mhm.
impact more lives in general. So, kind of like you said, just growing as a speaker. I would love to book more speaking events. I would love to be present at more pop up shops to meet more women. So I'm praying 2021 allows that for us. And then just being available to women who have questions and who are afraid to speak out. I just want to be able to reach them and let them know that I'm here. I've experienced a lot of things that they're experiencing, um, and I'm here for that. And then just a little bit of uh, also just a little bit more personal. My goal this year is to focus more on fertility and fertility treatment. I do think that 2020 scared me a little bit, so I did back off a little bit from all of our fertility journey. So 2021, I want to be braver. I want to
Mhm.
be braver in that area because I'm brave in a whole lot of things, but I do think that fertility scares me. And doing the taking the steps and taking the journey towards that scares me a little bit. So I am looking forward to uh, doing all the things. And so I scheduled an appointment for 2021 and
Okay.
I'm starting the year off right. So let's see how it goes, y'all.
I'm so excited to hear you say that. And I look forward to your openness, because I'm with you. Like fertility is scary. It's because we can't control it, you
Yes.
guys. And y'all may know we're both such control freaks at sometimes. And sometimes we are letting it go, but it's so hard whenever, you really have zero control, like
Yeah.
zero.
Zero. It is like
Yeah.
we're gonna do this on our own.
Yeah. I'm so happy for you. I'm so praying for you and I hope to be there along like with you every step of the way. Just because, I've been there when I've seen you go through it and I know how hard and it's not an easy thing for you to do. So I'm happy to hear you speak more about it and I know that you're going to grow so much like no matter what happens. So
Thanks, friend.
yeah, you made me get real specific on my goals too. I'm like, I need to be more specific. So I was like, oh, she yoga, meditation. I need to do some more. So I am gonna work out. I am gonna be a better like I do Pure Bar, if y'all don't know. That's the workout of that speaks to my heart, the one that's been super life changing for me. I've done yoga before too. I think that with Pure Bar, it's a group oriented thing where I tried it. I love it. It does have a little bit of Pilates, yoga, all of that's infused, and it's a musically driven class. So I'm an instructor. I've been an instructor there for don't make me laugh. I think I feel like now maybe 6 years coming up next year. But like after having a baby, y'all, I've had to give myself so much grace because I am not the same woman anymore. I'm not as strong. So coming in
Not
2021, it's
physically, but you are
yeah,
very strong
physically.
mentally.
Yes, as physically. So I'm having to start at zero again, or I'm not even going to say zero because I worked out through my pregnancy. So start I'm going to say, I'm going to give myself a 5 on a level 10 scale. With 10 being the best. I'm at 5 right now. And, having to start over, it's challenging, but it's definitely something that I am progressively going to get stronger at. And I think that, that's going to allow me to be a better instructor because, sometimes we get so far along. And I'm not gonna like stay on here all night or day and like because I can keep going. But I just feel like
Our
I have to
long
get this out. I gotta get it out. So sometimes like we get so strong or we get to this point and it's time for us to take a step back. So I feel like having a baby in one point was a good thing for me, but it also gave me a step back to where I can remember whenever we have new clients that come in. It's like it's very challenging and like sometimes you have to start over in order to get stronger.
yeah.
So and that's honestly what 2020 could be. It was a reset before our rebirth. So definitely wishing the best 2020 for everybody. I hope that from this episode you take a little bit of past, a little bit of present, and look more forward towards your future. Just because 2020, it wasn't the worst year. We could always say that, but we are here, we're alive. And for us to be breathing is definitely amazing. So, do you have anything else, Lashonda?
I don't have anything else. I think that that sums it up very clearly what you just did. I do have things that are coming up that I would like to tell everybody about. Of course, I still have my shirts and my book and my journal on sale. They are available on my website, which is lhollandspeaks.com. I just also updated my website today, so you can go there and see my presentation from the 2020 Women's Conference here in San Antonio, Texas. I would love to know your thoughts on that. I would love to know if you received anything from that. That was a big speech for me. And so if you can go and watch it, I would love that. As far as events that are coming up, I do have the Restore Mind, Body, and Spirit yoga retreat. It's not until April 10th, but tickets go on sale this month. Tickets go on sale on December 31st. They are 1350. The event itself is free. 1350 is for the lunch. So if you are in Simpson County, Mississippi, if you're in Mendenhall, Mississippi, McGee, Mississippi, or any surrounding areas, this is an event for you. I would love for you to come and participate in this retreat. Myself and Brittany Turner are both from Mendenhall, Mississippi, and this is something that we want to give back to the community. Yoga means a lot to both of us, and so this retreat is going to be amazing. The other event that I have coming up is the start or the release or the launch of L&S Health Space. Sorry, L&S Health Space, which is a space that is virtual that myself and one of my friends, longtime friends, have created. She is a HIIT instructor, and of course, I am a new yoga teacher. And we are joining forces to create a health space, the perfect health space for you, because we are both mental health professionals as well. And so we would like to create a space for you that is going to allow you to be healthy emotionally, mentally, and physically. So all of that information is now on my website. You can get my shirts there, my books there. And if you go down to the photo section, you can also see the flyers for these events there. If you have questions, you can reach out to me via the section at the very bottom that says send a question or send a comment. I can't remember clearly what it says, but definitely reach out to me. Definitely sign up. These are going to be events that I think are life changing for you and for me, and they're going to be great. So just lhollandspeaks.com.
Awesome. Well, for me, I am so excited, like from my toes all the way through my body about this new initiative that is coming with Lime Life by Alcon. So, with Lime Life, you guys, I partner with women. And what we do is we go out into the community, we help with skincare and makeup, we make a difference in people's lives, and just show up for people. Whenever you're talking skincare and makeup, everybody uses it. It is clean, natural ingredient skincare that is so effective. Our makeup that we have is professional grade. It's actually clean beauty product, so everything's paraben free. And in January, you were able to be financially empowered and start your business venture with Lime Life by Alcon for $21. Y'all, this is huge. Like, I could literally scream because I'm so excited at how many women that I will literally be able to link arms with, because for $21, if you already use a product at all, like anything skincare, and I can tell you it takes one product that you like, just one. So if there's something that you've ever ordered from me and you really like it, you stand by it, I highly encourage you to give this business a chance. Because for $21, you will get a link, financially empowered to share whatever it is that you use with other people. So we always share what we love anyway, because we share if something looks good in your hair, you're probably going to tell your best friend about it. If you like a jacket, you're probably going to say, hey, oh girl, I got this jacket. It's the best one. If you got these shoes that you love. So if you've got clean skincare, if you've got clean makeup and there's one thing that you love from this line, I encourage you to link arms with me just to give it a try. 21 bucks. All you have to do is that will give you your link. You will automatically become a beauty guide. Try it for 30 days and really go ham. And I'm talking like talk to other people about that one product that you use. Or even talking to them about that one product is definitely going to help you with the financially empowerment part. Showing up for people in their lives, being there for people, linking with a brand that is about empowering women is huge. It's massive for every single person. I don't care who you are. You want to link arms with a company that cares about women. Okay. And that is, I'm 100% an advocate for that. And you can do it for $21. So in January, um, Line Life is doing this 1 month only initiative where you can link arms with me for $21. I will drop the link if you are on YouTube. You can click the link below. You can go to arobertson.com. So starting January 1 through January 31, I highly encourage you do it at the beginning of the month so you can really get the best bang for your buck. So starting in January, you can partner with me, become a Lime Life Beauty Guide for $21 and just see if it's a fit for you. So that's what I have coming up the most that I'm so excited about. I just feel like this is going to be major and it's the perfect way to start off the new year.
I 100% agree. So if you're thinking about starting a business, that is the perfect way to go for 2021. And as I told you about LNS Health Space, as well as the yoga retreat, these are all great things to tie into your New Year's goal or your New Year's resolution. If you really want to get healthy, these are the ways to do it. If you really want to start a business and get your business going, these are the ways to do it. So, with that being said, I think that this New Year's episode has been amazing, Angie.
Me
Yes.
too. Cheers, y'all.
And so let's do one more final toast to making things happen in 2021, setting our goals, making sure that we have the processes for our goals, and just being on top of everything that we need to be on top of this year.
Cheers to that. Ding.
Thank you all so much for joining us on this New Year's um, episode. We thank you so much for always following along with us. If you have not click subscribe on YouTube, click subscribe on Apple Podcast or Google or Spotify, whatever you're listening to or watching us on. Hit subscribe. We appreciate you. We love you, and Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.